Hi, my name is Benjamin. I'm from Attack on Gaming, and we're here with Paul. Is it Eating or Eiding or
Eiding.
Eiding?
Yeah.
Okay. You probably might best remember him from his work on Metal Gear Solid. Um, but also you were one of the main characters in Ben 10 as well.
I'm Grandpa Max in Ben 10. I'm the only actor that carried over from the very beginning of Ben 10. They changed Ben, made him older, and they revoiced a lot of the characters. And Grandpa Max Tennyson's the only one that stayed from the very beginning. Although I did have to re-audition for my part. I did.
Okay, that's different. Alright, so I guess that leads us to the first question. What's it like doing gaming voice acting in comparison to animated voice acting?
Well, for me, the experience is that generally, not always, but generally when you're doing voices for video games, you're in the studio alone. The difference was Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear, I got to work with David Hayter, Snake, and with Jennifer Hale, and we got to work together. Generally, you're in the studio alone, talking to just the microphone. With Ben 10 and with a lot of the other animated series, you get to be in there with the other actors, which actors prefer because you get to, it's more spontaneous. You get to play off of what you get from somebody. So it's a little more time consuming to do the alone in the studio, but you do whatever they ask you to do.
All right, fair enough. So you were in pretty much all of the main Metal Gear Solid games, and although we did notice that for Metal Gear Solid 3 you had rather a minor role, was that as like a DLC or like an expansion or something? Or?
Yeah, I think it was just an extension. I had just had a few extra lines that they called me in for. Yeah, so there wasn't a heck of a lot of me in there. I prefer a lot of the Colonel in the games, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. Alright, so obviously you voice acted in a heck of a lot of games. Does that make you a gamer yourself, or do you?
Okay, my daughters laugh at this because I suck at playing. I'm terrible. I really am. Plus, my wife will attest to the fact that I have an addictive personality. And if I start something, then I won't quit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm one of those that would be on for hours and hours and hours, days and days. And I'm at the point now where I don't have the time. Plus, I really am bad at it. There's a wonderful Irish comedian, Brian O'Brien. I don't know if it's Brian O'Brien or Brian O'Brien or whatever, but he does this great bit about his gaming. And he talks about Metal Gear and how terrible he is when he gets into a crouch. He can't get out of a crouch. He just walks into walls. Everything he does is in a crouch. And that would be me. Plus, he talks about dying when he plays the game. He dies a lot. And that, Snake's friend yells, "Snake, Snake, Snake," the same way every time. He cares about him so much. That would be me. Just dying and dying and dying. Yeah.
All right, sweet. So I noticed that you've worked on a few Blizzard games like Warcraft, StarCraft 2, Diablo, big yes.
I'm in all three Diablos, all three StarCrafts,
yeah.
and Warcraft.
Sweet. So in your Diablo credits, I noticed you played Mephisto. He's actually my favorite villain. I just want to mention that.
Yeah, it was cool because in those early games, Diablo was right around the time of Metal Gear. I think Metal Gear came a little before. I don't remember though. Both in '98, yeah. '99, and doing all those early games for Blizzard. This is before they were Blizzard. They were just before they had BlizzCon and all that stuff. And it was great working with Chris Metzen and all those guys. I think they're all brilliant. And yeah, Mephisto was one of those types of voices, one of those really evil characters. Lazarus was not a walk in the park either. Archbishop Lazarus was a pretty nasty guy.
Sweet. So we're here for Oz Comic Con in Australia. You were at the Brisbane event.
I was. It was terrific. Look, I'm a fanboy just like everybody else. So when I get to travel and meet everybody, you know, from Jason Momoa to Captain Kirk and all those guys. Um, and plus, I love, you know, for me, I get excited with all the comic artists. You know, my wife has become a total comic geek. You know, we'll get books and whatnot from, you know, wherever we go. And then she starts following everybody online, and we love it, you know. And now Comic-Con Brisbane was terrific. I'm really looking forward to this one.
All right, sweet. So does that mean that you read comic books yourself?
Read which?
You read comic books yourself?
Yeah.
Sweet. Which is your favorite?
Oh man. Well, it's old. It's more of a, you know, it's Sandman, of course. You know, if you want to call it a comic, or but we're huge Gaiman fans. Anything he writes. And I'm actually going to be in a comic. There's a wonderful writer in New Zealand, Richard Fairgray, and he's written a couple of them, one called Blastosaurus, and he's got a new one coming out. And we met, and he took a bunch of pictures of me, and he said, "Do you mind if I put you into a comic?" And I said, "Are you kidding me, man?" I was thrilled. So I'm going to be an ex-boxer, kind of a hardcore detective sort of guy who forgets who he really is from time to time. Yeah, and he just sent me a couple of the pencil drawings. And the frightening thing is it looks like me. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah.
That is pretty cool, being immortalized in a comic.
It really is, man. Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking, like, maybe you should be in a character that did voice acting all the time.
Well, the thing is, I just read something for him, another idea he's got of a guy who is down on his luck actor. He had been an actor for years, and he played a detective on the TV. Now he's no longer a detective, and he's getting older, but there are times when he goes in and out of, plus he's a heavy drinker, and from time to time he starts imagining that he's still a detective, that he's a detective in real life. So hopefully that won't happen to me as I get older, but you know, I'll always know who I am, where I am. But there are times when you're an actor, it's like, okay, who am I today? You know?
Yeah. It's pretty interesting stuff. All right. So basically, with gaming again, I remember reading that you played Gardo in one of the Bloody Raw games. I just wanted to mention that I'm a Gardo fighter. That's why.
Oh yeah, you know what? The terrible thing is, I don't remember a lot of them. I remember doing Bloody Roar. Geez, my daughter has to remind me from time to time. She goes on IMDb and says, "Okay," or I'll go to one of these, and people will bring games for me to sign. And I remember somebody bringing Eternal Darkness, and I'd forgotten that I'd done it, or Sacrifice. You know, it's like you do them, and these are years ago, and sometimes you forget. You forget. You know, I know that I'm the guy who says you must construct additional pylons. I know I'm that guy, and in StarCraft. But there are a lot of times you do so many of them that you forget. Yeah. You know, but I don't remember what I did or what I sounded like in.
So Gardo is like a ex-Navy dude. So he did like a lot of like combat, like proper like military style combat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and he like turned into like a lion, and like would fight into people and stuff.
Oh my gosh, I wish I could remember it.
It's okay. It's like the best character. If you ever pick up Bloody Roar, I recommend that one.
Got it.
All right. So I suppose we should probably start wrapping this up. So we're a gaming site, obviously. So final question.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite video game of all time?
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble. That I've been involved with, or just
it doesn't necessarily have to be one you've worked on.
Oh, Miss Pac-Man. No. Well, it's got to, you know, look. You know, I'm really proud of Skyrim because it's gloriously beautiful. I love doing 3 characters in that one, but for me, it's still got to be Metal Gear. Metal Gear is like changed the way so many games have were done, and it's so cinematic, you know, from the beginning. And it's got to be it, Metal Gear.
All right, so we're gonna end this on a particular phrase
Yes.
that you promised. So, yeah.
Okay, you ready? Watch your ears. I'll pull back a little bit. Snake. Snake. Snake! Can you still hear? Okay. There you go.
Thank you. It was
Pleasure, man.
it's great meeting you.
A pleasure, Benjamin.
Thank you.